We're back with another all-electric hypercar for you, this time with more than 2,000 horsepower. This thing is fast. With 4 motors churning out that kind of power, the Aspark Owl will rightfully be taking its place at the top of the table of hypercars. Stay tuned for the details today. Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Martin Lee, and if you like what we do here, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss a show. Let's look at the origin story. Japanese engineering company Aspark was actually launched back in 2005 by Masanori Yoshida, and I love Japanese names and I hope I got that one right and respectfully correct. And like a lot of people, you may not have heard of Aspark until they developed the Owl project to construct an all-electric hypercar. But they're busy folks over there and have grown the company to more than 3,000 staff. They have 25 offices around the world through various engineering endeavors. They've based the development and production center for the Owl in the heart of hypercar manufacturing in Turin in Italy, where they can work closely with their partners on bringing this behemoth to its customers. Let's take a look at the design and feast your eyes on the Aspark Owl. It's a thing of beauty, is it not? Or maybe you don't agree. Either way, leave us a comment down below and let me know what you think about this car. As with all cars designed for these speeds, aerodynamics has obviously played a huge part in its design. It's incredibly sleek and is in fact less than 1 meter tall. The bonnet, or the hood, is more concave, with the wheel arches bulging around it. The cabin, or maybe it's more accurate to say the cockpit, because this is more like a fighter jet. For a car like this, sits centrally mounted on the chassis, surrounded by the 4 bulges of the wheel arches. From there, the gull wing doors open and you step out over a pretty low sill that runs from wheel to wheel. And whilst you might notice the design first, what you really want to talk about is this car's performance, because this is where hypercars shine. The Aspark Owl has 4 permanent magnet synchronous motors. They have a combined output of 1,480 kilowatts. That, in old money, is 2,012 horsepower. Wow. Big wow. Absolutely nuts. In terms of torque, the Owl has a nice round figure. Almost conveniently 2 round, exactly 2,000 Newton meters of torque. With that amount of power, the Owl doesn't just get off the line quickly, it keeps going and going and going, and then will hit speeds of 400 kilometers per hour. And just how fast is the acceleration, you ask? Well, skip all of that stuff about rollouts and the arguments about what really is a 0 to 60 time, just go straight to what it can actually do. Let's stick some road legal tyres on this thing, and the 0 to 62 miles an hour, or 0 to 100 kph sprint is 1.9 seconds. But this car really isn't about the 0 to 60, it's what happens after that. Keep your foot planted, and in 10.6 seconds, you'll be doing 300 kilometers per hour. The car will also get you from those speeds back down to 0 pretty quickly, with carbon ceramic discs clamped by 10 piston calipers on the front and 4 piston calipers on the rear. So we know it goes pretty fast, but how far can it go? Well, not too far if you're doing those quarter-mile drag attempts, I'll tell you. Anyway, the Owl is built on an 800-volt architecture, much like the Porsche Taycan or the Audi e-tron GT. The battery pack is always, with hypercars, a balance. Do you put more energy into the battery pack and that makes it heavier because it's bigger, or do you go smaller, lighter and have less range? These guys have chosen to go for 64 kilowatt hours in the lithium-ion battery pack. They claim the range is 450 kilometers, but they're using the old NEDC way of measuring that, which is not even accurate. I wish people wouldn't do that anymore. So it'll get nowhere near that figure unless you're driving it exceptionally cautiously. But why would you buy this car? and drive around at 20 miles an hour. The body and chassis are made of carbon fibre to help with weight reduction, although the car still adds up to 1,900 kilograms in all, which is chunky for a hypercar, but again, that battery's going to be heavy. Now, charging isn't particularly impressive. You'd think that with an 800-volt system and the ability to churn out well over 1,000 kilowatts of power, that the Owl would take it back in very quickly, but no. On their brochure, they say the car charges at 44 kilowatts. Now let's talk about money, and the old adage, if you have to ask the price, you can't afford it. So, I'm going to ask the price, because I know I can't afford this one. If you have a few million sitting under your mattress tucked away, the competition will be tight, as the production run is only going to be for 50 of these cars, with a price tag of around €2.5 million. It really will be the preserve of the rich and the famous. In fact, one of the first Owls recently came up for sale, again in France. The price tag was €3.5 million. If my wife is watching this, can I have one for my birthday, please? So we'll wrap it up there. The Aspark Owl. What do you make of it? We'll have your say in the comments below. Let's keep the conversation going. How does it sit with this incredible lineup of supercars that we see coming with all-electric power? The Battista, the Lotus Evija. Let us know. And of course, there is the Navara as well on the horizon. We'd love to hear from you, so drop us a line in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, because it tells us you like it, and we'll make more of it. Until next time, see you soon.